So I live on a property that's roughly 75 minutes to the nearest grocery store.
And I'm going to tell you what it's like living on a fairly remote 80 acres surrounded by national forest, and why I'm leaving it for a new home base. So first, let's talk pros. This place has a little cabin where I can sleep and make food. Then it has a shop where I can work on my projects, and that's really the focus of the home base. Now, this place is surrounded by thousands of acres of national forest, trails, campsites, rivers, and lakes. The public lands aspect is perfect. It's also peaceful out here, and there isn't much noise besides the wind and the trees and the animals. So those are some great pros, but now let's get to some cons. Throughout the winter, all we have had to heat the cabin and the shop is wood. Not only did this take a long time to actually cut up and split all this wood, but you have to keep the fire stoked constantly or it's going to be freezing. The power goes out here a couple times a month for a day or so at a time, sometimes more, and it takes the internet with it. Speaking of internet, I don't have usable cell service anywhere on the property, and Starlink only works at the shop. The shop stays pretty cold, so if I want to work on the computer or make phone calls while still having warmth in my fingers, I gotta go to the cabin. And I can't do any of that up at the cabin because there's no internet, which makes this place feel super isolating. And speaking of isolating, this place is about 75 minutes of mountain driving to get to the nearest real resources. Grocery stores, parts stores, hardware, tools, specialty shops, metal suppliers, and all of that are really far out. And when you're working on projects like this Toyota, you better be really good about anticipating every part that you may need and ordering it all beforehand. And everything else that you're going to need in town is going to be a 3-hour tour, and that becomes quite a barrier. As far as social life goes, yeah, it's a 3-hour tour. The nearest neighbor is several miles away, and I've never met them. During the summer, you may meet some tourists down by the river, but during the winter, all of that goes away. You have to make an effort and spend a full day in town and do stuff where you would actually meet people. Again, this is a big barrier with a 3-hour drive. And the animals are a whole nother thing. Normally animals just do their thing, but that isn't always the case. There are 3 species here which I have had problems with: rattlesnakes, bears, and ticks. We had 16 rattlesnakes on the property last year. One bit MJ on the nose, and she had to go to the vet, which was a 2.5-hour one-way drive. Then I was out bolting a skid plate underneath the dozer, and bam, another snake was just inches away from my face. I've also had a bear that started breaking into the cabin during the middle of the night, and that was a fun surprise. And Ruger, well, Ruger is a magnet for ticks out here. Overall, the best way I can describe this place is that it makes everything more difficult. And now I have my eyes set on a new place which is only 6 minutes or so from the grocery store and parts stores, but it's still close to all the public lands that I love. Plus, it's kind of every guy's dream: a large shop with a basic 800 square foot apartment.